Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a quick look here at Terra Classic. And if you saw my video from yesterday, you'll know this was expected because we saw this upper level of liquidity level, both on the hourly and the 4-hour, looking to be swept. And once it is, the price shoots straight through it and typically comes back to test as a support. We may not even see that happen, but generally speaking, in a perfect world, the price will come back down to that level, roughly just say round number 13,000, to essentially bounce to continue higher. So I'm hoping for something like this, so we're not too late to the game. There's also a possibility as well the price action could pull back a little further. It's easier to see right here on these levels here to 0.382 or 0.5 in Fibonacci. Okay, so again, those are some levels we want to pay attention to. So again, if you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. I hope you can learn something here today. If you want to become a better trader, again, cryptocash.tech is a site linked down below. We took some phenomenal trades here recently too with our Premium Plus group. Look at this, Avalanche and ETH. Very, very strong trades there. We even caught a Matic trade down here, if I'm not mistaken, as well this morning at about 22%. So that's our scalping bot. Otherwise, our premium group's raking in some cash too. Nice little 25% Dogecoin long there in about 36 hours. So keep up the good work, folks. Thanks again for the wonderful feedback. Now, what I want to talk about here with Terra Classic is, let's start with the daily, because I think it's important to recognize that we have some moving averages that are going to eventually become relevant. Right now, they're not, but the 20-day SMA is working its way up to that previous high. If we look at the stochastic RSI, we're diverging for the first time now, and that really just tells us kind of that we have potential for the price to pull back a little bit. Again, that speaks to us coming back down to that 13,000 range. Money flow index is high, RSI is high. Those are all positive contributing factors here. But you got to recognize it is overextended. But keep in mind too, overextensions right now don't matter too much in these bullish trends we're seeing. Okay, a lot of times folks will buy the top, or sorry, sell the top, and essentially try to buy back at a lower price, and you get a nice little short in, right? But you may want to be careful shorting coins like this, especially with Bitcoin cranking up towards 39,000 and essentially rocking and rolling. Okay, Bitcoin dominance is up, so you got to keep in mind too. Some alts will start to potentially bleed out. This could be one of them. But this coin isn't massively overextended like a lot of other coins are. So I think we still got plenty of room left to run. Let's go ahead and look at the 4-hour though, and just kind of discuss this here. If we see the fibs, we can actually update the fibs here for this most recent level here, just so you can kind of see what that looks like. Because with these levels here, there is potential for the price to pull back to them, but it's not a guarantee. And I get the question often, hey, how reliable is Elliott Wave? Well, it's very reliable. We just got to wait for the top to be in. So if this is the top, we could see these levels retrace too. It would make sense though, the 0.382, because that's where the candle wicks came up to the most. Liquidity is about 13,000, but we have 12.5 as a rough estimate for the most recent highs. So in that sense, we are looking pretty decent here, where 12.5 to 13,000 could be a possible bouncing point for us. Worst case would be 0.5 Fibonacci or 0.618, which falls at about 11.9 and 11.2. Okay, so those are just some potential realities. I'll post this on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord so you can kind of see what they look like. I like to post playout charts for you so you understand generally where that's at. So make sure to follow us over there as well if you'd like. But the bottom line here is that I don't think those levels will be tested immediately. But again, Terra Classic has been known to crank up and to crank down. Okay, so just know if the price does come back to those levels, that might be some good dollar cost average locations. Take a look here. Of course, RSI is still high, money flow index coming down. Stochastic swinging up. These are all positive contributing factors. I typically don't love it when the money flow index comes down, but this is a 14 candle lag, and it's going to come down when you have range bound activity. Okay, so my speculation is we'll see the money flow index increasing over the next couple of hours. Same thing with the MACD. We're converging quite strong. Obviously, how can you not? With a, 26% pump from bottom to top within less than 8 hours. It's pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and check a couple things here. Moving averages, first of all, we're above the 20-day SMA. Extremely important trend setter. We're ascending positive with this trend line as well. So we may as well continue to pull this trend line out so we can kind of get, sorry, let me get this guy here, get a little funky here. Pull it out here just so we can kind of keep an eye on it and essentially pull up another level here. Okay. All right, so that's kind of just some areas we want to pay attention to. So ideally, the way things work, when you break through a key level resistance such as this 13,000 for volume, which we can see here for liquidity, we had that level. It's common to bounce off of 13,000 or the most recent high, or in this case, the highest point for liquidity, and the price action continue upwards. We could even see it range bound and then break upwards, or it could just range bound and down. there's a lot of different scenarios, obviously. Too premature to tell at this point, but the key thing I want you to note is there is a fair value gap, very significant fair value gap between 11.6 and the current price point of 13.6. Okay, that does lead me to believe these areas could be pulled back to, based on the fact that it's really common for those fair value gaps to get filled, albeit not right away. So what could happen? A likely scenario is the price action pulls back here, establishes some lower lows and lower highs, then continues up to bounce off of this most recent volume profile. So we got a significant amount of volume right there at about 11.6. So again, a lot of case scenarios here, but I think it's best to expect the price to pull back maybe a little bit and then go from there. But the hourly is something we want to look at to kind of give us confirmation. I like to look at a few key factors. First, for our CC golden indication tells us we are overextended. We had a lot of good buy signals right here. So those of my community members using the CC golden indicator, it works really well on the 15-minute and the 1-hour charts. You can see here, of course, that this is giving us a lot of buy signs during that sideways momentum. So we're above some key level moving averages, and we have an overextension right now here, but not a full-on sell signal. Okay, so without having a full sell signal, that leads me to believe the price could stay where it's at. Okay. Furthermore, if we take a look at TD sequential, we're up to an 8, potential for sideways action or a retracement because of that. What we want to see is the price consolidate and then leg up again, of course, but generally speaking, when we hit an 8, it's common for the price to pull back or go sideways. If you look at this last time, the price ramped up, we hit a 9, price pretty much goes sideways for about 6 or 7 days. Okay. Again, it's pretty common for this coin to overextend itself and to pull back. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 13,000 to 11.6 retest in the near future to fill that fair value gap. Looking at the Ichimoku cloud, of course, this is where things change a little bit. This basically tells us you do not want to consider shorting. The window of opportunity here for the long position should remain open. In other words, the lagging span hasn't intersected, conversion line's about the baseline, and what do you know, the cloud is averaging itself out right there exactly at 13,000, which is that most recent level for liquidity, where the price action swept that upper level of liquidity. Okay, so again, you can kind of see that here. A little easier to see on the 4-hour time frame, but again, liquidity sweep nonetheless. So what are your thoughts? I'm curious what you're thinking here. Do me a favor, hit the like button before you close out here, and obviously make sure that you join the herd here. We got a phenomenal amount of new members coming over here. Extremely awesome exchange. I love this exchange. No VPN, no KYC. They offer trailing stop losses, multiple take profit targets. Best exchange I've used ever, and I've used a lot. Okay, so again, super happy with them, but it's icing on the cake. They have no VPN or KYC required. All right, folks, thanks again for watching. Hope you learned something here today. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.